One of the things that I really enjoy about the Pokemon TCG is how dynamic it is. It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving, right? Like it's never the same, whether it be the competitive scene with new set releases and the meta changing over time, or the collector scene with new chase cards. What might be in right now might not have been in a month ago or won't be in a month from now, especially with all those new sets that come out. It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. And that is a great thing. However, it brings a lot of instability to the business side of things. It brings a lot of inconsistencies to the business side of things. And we used to spend a lot of time on this channel going over opening up your own Pokemon TCG business. And as this channel continued to grow a little bit and to move a little bit, we kind of got away and focused more on the market and things like that, because there is only so much you can talk about when it comes to running your own Pokemon card business. But I do want to spend the next couple of videos getting back to that, because I do think a lot of it kind of ties together, whether you're somebody who's looking at doing something like this full time, or whether you're somebody who's just looking at increasing their collection goals. Maybe you just want to build a bigger collection and you're looking for pieces of the puzzle that you can utilize outside of running your own business to kind of grow your collection. Or maybe you're somebody who's just looking at making an extra few $100s a month to put food on the table, or to pay a car payment, or whatever the case may be. And the thing that I said when I started all this is that I want to be able to help with that. I've made a lot of mistakes when it comes to opening up a Pokemon card store. I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now, and I remember when I first started talking to people, when things started out, I was talking to people kind of in the business and saying, hey, what would you recommend? What kind of ideas do you have? What do you think? And they said, don't do it. Like, run away. Don't do it. You're not going to make any money. It's a really bad idea. There's no margins. There's nothing good about it. Don't do it. And I remember listening to them and thinking, okay, well, how can I make this work? Because immediately the way my brain was working was, okay, this isn't a great time. It's not a great business, but what can we do differently to try and make this work? And I'm really glad that I listened to what they said, and I heeded their advice, and I took the information and kind of tried to build on it. But I made a ton of mistakes. And my main goal has always been to try and help you guys avoid the mistakes that I made, whether you're looking at running your own business or just kind of increasing your collection goals. So we're going to jump into a little bit here today, specifically involving Pokemon Bulk, and then on Tuesday's video we're going to go in a little bit more as far as kind of getting an LLC, where you go for distribution, where you go to try and get Pokemon cards at wholesale, things like that. So I hope you do enjoy this information. If you do, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It does go a long way for the algorithm. Share the video. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, I'm going to flip you guys around, because there's a few resources that I really want you guys to take a look at prior to jumping into things, and here's why. Right now, and really always, Pokemon has really came back to normal, right? Pokemon is kind of at the point now where it was pre-pandemic, where it's very difficult to turn profit when it comes to sealed product. Anybody who has a storefront, anybody who has an online LGS will be able to tell you that it's very difficult to turn decent margins when it comes to selling Pokemon cards that they buy at wholesale, Pokemon booster boxes and collection boxes and things like that. And we've covered that many times in these videos before, where you buy a product at X price, and right now with the way that things are, there's such an overpopulation of sealed product and of product in Pokemon that these prices, it's a race to the bottom. And a lot of these LGSs are trying to sell off their forced allocations, the product that they were forced to take, so that way they can just break even. And they have to do that because there are constantly new releases coming out that they were forced to take that now they have to pay for. So you see a lot of deals, a lot of wholesale deals out there, where you're basically buying a Virizion collection box case for under wholesale pricing, because people are willing to take that $1, $2 loss, so that way they can afford to buy their Charizard Ultra Premium collections, or they can afford to buy their Silver Tempest. Like, they have to continue paying those invoices. But with all the product that Pokemon continues to pump out, it's very difficult. And with the MSRP increase coming in February, it's going to be even more difficult for a lot of these LGSs to turn a profit, because a lot of these collectors out there are going to be like, well, I don't want to pay $100 for a booster box that's going to have bad pulls. And a lot's going to have to change in order to make this different. And here's one way that you can continue to be successful, whether you're a business owner or whether you're a collector, because even though bulk has taken a huge slide and you can't open up a booster box and get $15, $20 of bulk value out of it, there's still cards in each set as the competitive game continues to grow that do have a little bit of value. And it's important that you remove these cards from your bulk so you can use them as trade bait, or you can sell them and kind of recuperate some of that money, some of that cost that you have invested in that booster box so you can turn around and buy some of the missing pieces. Maybe you're somebody who's looking at building master sets, so pulling out cards like trekking shoes or battle VIP pass, so that way you can set them aside, and that way you can use them, trade them, or sell them to buy those other pieces, maybe, let's say, of Fusion Strike that you need to finish off your master set. It helps out a lot. And some of these cards are selling for quite a bit more than a bulk ultra rare might be selling for. The competitive game right now is growing astronomically, whether it be from a GLC standpoint or a standard standpoint. A lot of the competitive events are really starting to grow, which helps out a lot. That's kind of the one facet of Pokemon that's really doing well. And I've covered this before, but I wanted to go over it a little bit more in detail and in depth. So there's 3 different resources that I'm going to tell you about before we jump into cards that you really should remove from your bulk. The first one that we've talked about before is limitlesstcg.com. This is an excellent resource that you can go just to get a feel for what's going on in the competitive community. So we've got decks up here, we've got tournaments right over here. So right now there is currently an event going on in Salt Lake City, Utah. There is a regional event going on that had over 800 masters in it. They played day 1 yesterday, they're battling it out in day 2 today, and you see a lot of different cards, a lot of different decks that are being played. And it's important to keep an eye on that, because as you watch how these cards are performing, there's thousands of people who are also watching how these cards are performing, and they're going to start wanting to build decks based off of the cards that they see. So then all of a sudden the demand rises for those cards. So if you start looking at, let's say, decks, and you click on this Palkia V-Star, which is probably the most important or the most popular deck that you see in the format right now, we've got Calvin Connor sitting at 2nd place at the Peoria Regional in Illinois a couple weeks ago. They have the lists provided for you, so you can look and take a look at what cards are performing well and what their price points are on TCG players. So you see 3 Origin form Palkia V-Stars right here. That would cost someone $51.81 to be able to buy those 3 Origin form Palkia V-Stars. 3 Origin form Palkia V, that would cost somebody $21.81. So that means that those Origin form Palkia Vs are selling for approximately $7 a piece. But if you look at some of the lower rarity cards right here, like we've got a Radiant Greninja, which is selling for about $4 right now. You've got a Manaphy from Brilliant Stars, which is selling for about 70 cents right now. Yeah, that's not gonna pay your rent for a month, but a 70-cent rare is a lot better than the bulk rate right now, which is like a penny for a rare. So it's definitely something worth taking out of your bulk, so that way you can utilize it to kind of grow your collection more. If we look at TCG Player right here, we've looked at this so many times in the past, but one thing that I like to do is I like to go to the advanced filters right away. And if you just click on the rarity right here, and let's just say we look at common, uncommon, holo rare, and rare, and we're going to leave all the ultra rares out of it, and you just hit search, it's going to populate all these cards here. And if you switch your drop down menu to best selling, you're going to get a lot of vintage cards here. But as you continue to look, you see a lot of different cards, uncommons, that are popping up, like this Scoop Up Net, like this Battle VIP Pass. And if you go through pages and pages and pages, and I'm not going to make you go through that right now, I already did that for you, so I've got them laid out in our PowerPoint presentation, but it shows you a lot of different variations that are in standard play right now, a lot of stuff that you may have already opened that is going to be worth taking out of your bulk. And then the third resource that I want you guys to take a look at is Pokestats. This is ptcgstats.com. You can follow them on Twitter at Pokestats. They do a great job of following all the events that are going on, including the late night tournament series, which goes on online on PTCGO, on PTCG Live, but it gives you an idea of how dynamic the competitive format is and how much it changes, so that way you can get a good feel for what decks are out there and what Pokemon cards you want to pull out of your bulk. So that way you can either, I mean, you might want to build your own deck, but if not, at least you have options as local leagues start back up in January. Hopefully it's going to be a completely different ball game. We haven't had local events since before the pandemic, so once January hits, we get rotation at some point. They're going to start having league cups, league challenges. Local leagues are going to happen a lot more frequently, so that way you have these opportunities to trade, to grow your collection, to play the game that you love, and to have fun with different Pokemon players in your community. All right, now we're going to jump into the actual bulk cards that you're going to want to pull out. So here is the resources for you. I kind of wanted to put this right on the first page here, so you have it in case you wanted to pause the video and take a look, so that way you have the actual web addresses. But this is entitled Pokemon UNBULK, and we're just going to go through these really quick, but these are just a list of like 25, 30 commons, uncommons, rares, holographics that you want to pull out of your bulk. I didn't put any ultra rares on here, and I kept standard. I didn't want to go into older sets or anything like that, because standard is what we're going to have a lot of stock of, a lot of inventory of. So we're going to start out with Scoop Up Net here, selling for about $4 currently. Battle VIP Pass is a very, very important card from Fusion Strike. Really has grown in price. I think I talked about this card about a year ago as something that you really want to watch out for as the competitive format evolves. Selling currently for $3.39 and continuing to gain. Prior to Peoria a couple weeks ago, this was way cheaper. Then we've got Sableye. This is from Lost Origin. This is a holographic card, selling for $3.62, doing pretty well at the Salt Lake City Regional currently. You can pair this up with Comfy right next to it, and it's doing okay in the tournament. So we're going to see some of these decks in day 2, which means this price point is going to stay fairly consistent at this $3.62 price. Then we've got Comfy, which is just a rare from Lost Origin, selling for about $1 right now. Training Court has really started gaining some popularity again. This card is going to be rotating at some point at the beginning of 2023, so you definitely want to take it out of your bulk now, maybe trade it off a little bit because it is selling for about $2.32. Then we've got Irida. This is from Astral Radiance. This is a holographic rare, selling for $3.60. This card will be around for a while and be very important. Twin Energy and Capture Energy, both cards that are going to rotate out of format, so definitely something that you want to pull out right now. Twin Energy has risen quite a bit over the last couple months, selling out $1.84 currently, and then Capture Energy has actually gone in the reverse direction, has shrunk a lot over the last couple months, down to 77 cents. Then we've got Speed Energy, which isn't doing too bad, $1.23. Trekking Shoes, this is an uncommon from Astral Radiance. Right now this is selling at 55 cents, but it's something that you definitely want to pull out because I do expect it to continue to grow a little bit over the next year, especially once we hit rotation. Then we've got Manaphy, which has done a really good job of growing ever since Brilliant Stars released. It's currently selling for 76 cents because of its ability right there. Wave Veil, really popular in those Palkia decks, and Palkia isn't going anywhere. Ditto is the Holo Rare from Pokemon Go. Obviously, you have the Numel, you have the Spinarak, and you have the Bidoof, which are all also really important. I didn't put those on here, but those peelable Ditto cards definitely still have a lot of value associated with them. Most of them are selling for about $4 or so. The Holo Ditto is selling for $3.47. Then we've got Marnie, which is a Holo Rare from Champion's Path. There was a lot of different variations of Marnie. This is the most expensive one. This is the holographic rare from Champion's Path. Definitely a card you want to pull out of your bulk, especially before rotation hits this upcoming 2023. Then we've got Diancie, which is a holo rare from Astral Radiant, selling for $2.07. The Regigigas with the Regi line all together. All those Regi cards are cards you really want to pull out. Regigigas is the only one that I put on here from Astral Radiance, $1.26, but there's a bunch of rares in Astral Radiance as well that you're going to want to remove. The Regice, the Registeel, different cards like that. And then we've got Gengar, the holographic rare from Lost Origin, selling for $1.09. And we've got the Drizzile from Sword and Shield base set. This card has really dropped over the last couple months. Lots of these that are out there already. Market price on this one dropped down to $1.19, but still something worth value that you want to pull out of your bulk that you could use for trade bait over these next couple months. There's still a few regional events that people are going to want to take advantage of. Miltank from Astral Radiance, a deck basically in itself, selling for $1.21 currently. Capacious Bucket from Rebel Clash. This is another card that's really kind of going down a little bit, but still an important card to remove because of the Inteleon and the Palkia engines, selling for 54 cents currently. Snorlax from Vivid Voltage is currently up to $2.51. That card actually continues to rise a little bit. I don't know why I have it here twice, but we've also got Palpad making its first debut on this list, selling for 98 cents currently. That's from Sword and Shield base set. The Regieleki is actually from Evolving Skies. This one shot up a little bit with the popularity of the Regigigas deck. This one is the one that you want to play more so than the one from Astral Radiance. This one is selling for about $1 right now. Then we've got the Boss's Orders holographic rare from Rebel Clash, selling for $1.59. And then finally we've got that Inteleon engine that we were just talking about. So you've got the holographic rare from Chilling Reign, selling for a little bit over $1 right now. And then you've got the holographic rare from Sword and Shield base set, selling for $1.87 currently. Those are definitely cards that you want to take out of your bulk. But the important thing that I wanted to showcase to you is this is things that you can kind of do on your own, and you want to do it pretty much on a weekly basis because this is constantly going to change as the format evolves. So just go through, kind of take a look at PokeStats, take a look at Limitless to see what's going on in the format, and then you can utilize the TCG Player resource to kind of see what products are moving as competitive play picks up more, and we have local leagues and things like that that start at the beginning of January you're going to see a lot more of these standard trainers going up here rather than seeing a lot of vintage holographic cards. As you can see, Training Court going over here, Irida over here, but it's just a good thing to kind of take a look at so you can see which cards are moving the best. I hope this is useful information for you guys. I really do. Even with bulk only at, you know, half a cent right now, this is still opportunity for you as a store owner, or opportunity as you for a collector to try and move some of these cards that have a little bit of additional value to them, so that way you can buy some of those missing pieces that you might be looking for to finish off your collection. If you do enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like and a comment. It goes a long way for the algorithm. Share the video. It means a lot to me every time I see somebody share the videos out on Twitter or on Instagram or wherever, and just kind of putting people onto the channel. It really means a lot to me as we continue to grow and shoot for that 100K goal. So thank you so much for everything, guys. Until next time, peace.